Our penultimate speech comes today from John Glen, the Economic Secretary to the Treasury and City Minister and Member of Parliament. And it's a particular pleasure, given that we have, in the course of today, had both the longest-serving Economic Secretaries to the Treasury on this, well, one on the stage, one virtually. Mark Hoban had previously been the longest-serving Economic Secretary. I notice he left before he has to hear from the person who took his record. So we turn now to John Glen.
Apologies that I'm not able to join you in Bristol, but I do want to take this opportunity to thank the City UK for the opportunity to share some thoughts with you today and to congratulate them and all of you for your continuing contribution to the well-being of the sector. Part of the role of government is to listen to informed voices, and when it comes to financial services, yours are absolutely key. Take, for example, TCUK's recent report, making the UK the leading global financial centre. That is a comprehensive manifesto for doing exactly that, and a document which my staff and I have read with great interest. And it also dovetails extremely well with the Chancellor's ambitions for an open, green, competitive and technologically advanced financial services sector, as expressed in July's Mansion House speech. When I had the opportunity to speak at last year's conference, the country was still knee-deep in the pandemic. And I was able to thank you for the crucial role the industry was playing in keeping the show on the road, safeguarding the savings and pensions of millions of people, maintaining vital everyday access to financial services, and helping the government issue billions of pounds worth of support loans. Now, I'm not complacent. We're clearly not out of the woods. But I do want to restate my thanks to you and all your staff up and down the country. In the final analysis, I think the public will understand that you were there for them. The other thing I talked about last year was the revitalisation of our financial services industry and with it the country. And I'm delighted to revisit that theme again today. Today's conference itself is addressing a series of interconnected ideas: levelling up, regional investment, industry-led green and digital transformation, and diversity and inclusion in the sector. And that's a pretty decent summary of my entree as City Minister. Those are all things I care about and which I am championing on a day-to-day basis. And frankly, it'd be a pleasure to discuss all of them at length. But I'm going to limit myself to just a couple of those ideas, albeit two that are connected: levelling up and building a more diverse and inclusive sector. So first, I'll turn to levelling up, which as a government, we've said again and again is our defining mission. We know there's a problem. As the Prime Minister said in July, for too many people, geography turns out to be destiny. Talent and energy are equally spread across the country, but opportunity is not. As a government, as a United Kingdom government, we believe that it's our job to address that. Doing so will take time and investment and action on many fronts, but efforts are underway. The recent budget will see the highest sustained levels of public sector net investment as a proportion of GDP since the late 1970s, improving lives across the UK. There was also a major boost to investment in skills, £3.8 billion by 24-25, the launch of the UK Shared Prosperity Fund, worth more than £2.6 billion, and the announcement of the initial allocations from the £4.8 billion Levelling Up Fund. Financial and related professional services already playing a big part here, employing more than 2.3 million people across regional hubs in all 4 UK nations, and contributing more than £194 billion to our national economy. And that old cliche about financial services being synonymous with the square mile is as out of date as bowler hats and pinstripe trousers. In fact, the sector employs more than 40,000 people and adds over 1.8 billion to the local economy in Bristol alone. And the industry is providing a pipeline for homegrown talent to thrive, be it graduates from Bristol or Bath University, or the array of local apprentices benefiting from the £7 million Flexible Apprenticeships Fund launched in August. Of course, there's more to do. And that's the thinking, for instance, behind the location of new government economic campus in Darlington and the new infrastructure bank in Leeds. But levelling up is also about opening opportunities to people who haven't always had a look in. Inclusion writ large, no matter a person's race, gender or background. And that's something both government and industry are taking extremely seriously in the financial services sector. And that's the thinking, for instance, behind the Women in Finance Charter, which commits firms to improving gender balance. So far, over 400 financial services firms, employing more than 950,000 people, have signed up. And almost 150 of those signatories have met or are on track to meet the targets they set when they first joined. And I'm also pleased that more than 50 financial services firms have joined the Race at Work Charter, committing to improve ethnic diversity in their organisations. Meanwhile, I was delighted last year to commission the City of London Corporation to lead a task force to boost socio-economic diversity at senior levels in the UK's financial and professional services. Because financial services is for everyone and should be open to everyone. And I'd encourage you all to support those initiatives, however and wherever you can, and to continue taking advantage of the countless financial services opportunities across the United Kingdom, be it green finance in Scotland or fintech in Wales. And by the way, this is levelling up, not levelling down. We don't think you can make the poor parts of the country richer by making the rich parts poorer. As the Prime Minister asked in July, is it bad for JP Morgan that they have a back office in Bournemouth that is one of the biggest private sector employers in Dorset? Of course not. Levelling up can only be achieved with a strong and dynamic wealth-creating economy. And that's what this government is focused on. So let me end simply by thanking you all for all that you've done during the pandemic, for what you're continuously doing to bring prosperity to the United Kingdom, and for what you are yet to do to bring opportunity to people in communities across the country. We are building a financial services sector that acts in the interests of communities and citizens, creating jobs, supporting businesses and powering growth across all of the UK. And we have a responsibility to ensure that the benefits of our world-leading financial services sector are felt by people everywhere. And I will personally continue to do everything I can to make it happen. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank the Minister for those remarks. He has been a tireless advocate for this industry, and we very much appreciated his support during his tenure and look forward to continuing to work with him.